Hello, besties, and welcome back to the Paddock. You know what time it is. It's book club day. Today, we are speeding into For the Thrill of It All by Elliana Rose, and trust us, this one has it all. Family drama, F1 action, a little fake dating, one bed in a hotel room. There's so much. There is so much. And of course, there is some very real romance. Grab your favorite drink, cozy up, and we are going to dive right into the fictional drama, both on and off track in this book. On today's episode, you're joining myself, Amy, Mel, and Chelsea. As always, let us know what book we should read next. We do have one other book planned so far, but we are open to any and all recommendations.
Now, of course, if you're familiar with our book club episodes, we always give a little book overview. This will be spoiler free. But if you don't want any details after our little synopsis, listen after you read the book because there will be spoilers in this episode. Now, to get into the nitty-gritty of it all.
I love her so much. She muted you, by the way.
She clearly had opinions about it all. That's all.
We love her.
All right, so we meet Lucia De Luca, a single mother to a little girl, Gia, who is finding her spark again with the help of her brother Matteo, who's a F1 driver, and 5-time world driver champion Alexander. After going through a messy separation from her ex, Lucia finds herself expecting, and her focus shifts from herself only to her daughter. Now, after the first few chapters, it skips ahead and she has said daughter 3 years late. It's a big time jump and everything. Now, her brother offers the idea of Lucia and Gia joining him on the race weekends to get her groove back and just do her own thing and just be happy, which I was a really big fan of.
Definitely the beginning of the story was a good setup. I like that she talked about the characters really quickly and kind of gave this the friend, this the brother, this the blah blah blah. I would definitely say the genre ended up being like a sports romance.
Mm-hmm.
It is a sports romance. I wouldn't really say it's a Formula One book. It's a cute sports romance.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It gives, for me, when I was reading, it gave me more of the Hallmark type of romance movie, like those cheesy romances that I love. It is my guilty pleasure. And so if people are into those little rom-coms, those little guilty pleasure cheesy romances, I would totally recommend it because it was it was a fun little good read.
There are definitely moments where I feel like as a reader you go, is that really realistic? And it's like, no, it's not, but it's okay because it is a book. It is all indeed a work of fiction.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's cute to read those things where it's the unrealistic actually can happen, but I have to agree with Chelsea. It definitely kind of reads a little bit more like a sports romance where it could be any sport. They could be any type of race car driver. It doesn't really F1 is a part of it, but it doesn't feel like it's necessarily
the main plot.
Yeah.
Part of the book.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I agree. Yeah. It's nice. It's a good balance where it's F1's not overtaking it so much, but it's still some elements of it. Now, some trigger warnings, I would say, going into this book. It does talk about domestic violence that Lucia went through. Again, it's described more at the start as the reason why she ends her relationship with Gia's father. And then it's just mentioned sporadically throughout the rest of the story. And it's also mentions some mental health, issues, problems, concerns, if you will, as Alexander deals with panic attacks himself too. So just a little warning. The panic attacks part didn't really, but I know some people, the DV part can be a little touchy. Again, not too detailed, but it is mentioned in everything throughout the book.
I will say the panic attack scenes were actually detailed pretty well. Because when I was reading it, I was like, oh yeah, this is how I felt. It's pretty accurate.
I had the exact same realization where I was like,
the DV, not very detailed, thankfully.
But
the panic attack, that was actually I feel like she wrote Alex's from the beginning to the end of him like cooling down, like the process is really well written.
Yeah, I agree.
It's nice to see accurate representations of things in books where like sometimes an author will include somebody going through a panic attack and it's kind of almost like I don't know if this will make sense to anybody else, but it's almost like they make the panic attack fluffy.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
soften it. And
Mhm.
it's like, no, keep it
It's
real,
intense.
keep it authentic.
Yeah.
And like, especially somebody who deals with them, it's like, no, if you make it feel not real, like it just doesn't sit well. At least
Yeah.
for me.
No, I agree.
But we do have to talk about initial reactions because if you were in our group chat, people, you would have known that we all had so many thoughts at different times of reading this book. I cannot lie, y'all. For me, it took me a little bit to get into the book. Like I said, there were moments that felt a little far-fetched, but that was kind of in like the first 25-ish% of the book. Like, it's not anything crazy, but it just kind of like took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, so for me, I was enjoying it, but I can see where like you and like Chelsea were like kind of turned off from it because like again, I really like those cheesy type, fluffy type, unrealistic type love stories. So like I was just like, this is a great read. But there were some moments where I did feel like it was kind of like a slow pace where I was just like, okay, like let's get things moving. But yeah, I get what you guys are saying with that, but I was a big fan of it.
It was such a hit or miss in the beginning. Like, okay, this is my book, right? Everything on top,
Chelsea.
yeah, everything on top is when I had secondhand embarrassment.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
The secondhand embarrassment.
Because I don't personally
same,
read very
but yeah.
like corny. I don't read corny books, not very often. I love romances, but they're not very corny. They're usually like the new age ones. I think is what they're considered, or contemporary. I don't know. So there's just certain parts like, wait, let me find.
I'm like, I need an example here, please.
Give us examples.
It was one when he like called Dante, and I was like, is this supposed to be like a dark romance?
Dante, our man. We'll get into him in a little bit.
Where's Dante? Oh, right here.
I would actually low-key kind of kill for a Dante book. just for funsies.
A little novella.
Yeah, this is where it is. This is where it is. It's on literally page 8, and I was already like, I can't. I think it was Alexander. He calls Dante, and Dante like picks up, and he's like, "Hey, I need information on Matteo's sister's fiance, aka the DV situation that's going on." And he's like, and Dante then is like, "Do you want me to ruffle some feathers?" I was like, "Okay." And then Alexander responds, "Set the fucking bird on fire." I was like, "I need to close my book."
Take a pause.
So there's just parts like that where I'm just like, I thought I was reading a Formula One romance, not a mafia dark romance.
Which is like,
but it felt so sprinkled in that I was like confused.
Yeah.
Because Dante never really gets explained. He's just like
no
mafia guy that Alexander just has on the side, like just a little get boy,
like
just getting information.
Yeah,
like,
he's just like your man on the inside. Like he's I don't know, like it's giving like Overwatch, like guy with the computer who just like can get
he's
it
like
all.
Kim Possible's friend.
The guy's like on the thing. He's like,
yeah,
I'm in.
Kim Possible's like
firewall.
friend. Or like, okay, I was watching Fast and Furious, so like it just reminds me of like Tej, like just being like their cyber guy or like tech guy.
That's literally all I can envision is just like Dante is like this dude with a computer.
Yeah,
I don't know. We could be so wrong, but I just like envision him as
he's
like
a guy with a computer. I envision him like a big guy because he's here fighting the DV guy to get the paperwork signed.
That's true.
Yeah,
he's not a nerd.
And he's
like
described as
I'm imagining like a mafia guy. Like, hey man,
I picture like a linebacker
some
type
feathers. Guy. That was the only thing with the book that kept making that. I think that's most of these is Dante. It's the secondhand embarrassment because I'm like, why are we bringing this in right now?
One thing that I did love, and like, I mean, I absolutely adored this, is the fact that she included very specific symbols for POV markers for each character. Like Alex, he's got the race car with angel wings, which matches like the angel wing tattoos that he's got. And like obviously a race car makes sense for a driver. But Lucia's is two birds holding a little bow and a locket with a G on it, which I really, really loved. I actually had the ebook of this as well, and I zoomed in like crazy
Oh
on it because I
yeah,
was like, what
you had
am
the
I
color
actually
version.
seeing?
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
I pulled it up on my phone. I was just like zooming in. I was like, what on earth am I actually looking at? Because in the print book, at least for Luce, I feel like her symbol got like I lost some of the detail, but maybe it's also just my eyes.
No, I was a big fan of like the little detail. I didn't notice the G when I was reading
Oh,
like the physical copy.
you cannot see that at all.
Okay, yeah.
No, as
See,
I
that makes
said, I
sense.
had to zoom.
That makes a lot of sense. Because I, like, for me, when it's like multiple POVs or even like a dual POV type book for any genre that I'm reading, it's always nice to have an indicator of whose POV we're reading. Like, I don't necessarily need the person's name, but even if it's like, I mean, in this one, it was like their name and their little like
And a
symbols, but
symbol.
like, it's just the symbols are a nice touch because it's like, you can tell like Eliana really puts like some thought into it. It's like, make it like a little more fun and like a little bit more detailed, but Amy, I'm a big fan of you zooming in to confirm it was a G.
I had
That's
to.
Yeah.
She also even has like a little race car on a track for like time passage moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like
Yeah.
the little details that just brought me
Mm-hmm.
so much joy.
Yeah. Same.
I honestly, now that you say that, I have to take like a moment to talk about everything she did real quick. Like the glossary.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a first time fan, there's a glossary for being a Formula One fan. It'll tell you it'll explain anything that you're not sure about. She had a domestic violence phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's obviously mentioned in the book. I feel like a lot of writers would just put that in the book and not acknowledge what it actually means. And she's like, hey, if you need to talk about
Trigger
this because you
warning,
read it in
yeah.
my book, call this hotline. And then what was the other thing?
The
Oh,
driver
there's a whole
standings.
race schedule.
Oh, yeah.
The whole race schedule. We always complain that we don't understand like what the schedule is that these people are trying to do in their book. I love that I was like, okay, where are we? Like what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
And yes, I agree. I wrote it down somewhere else in the notes, but like I love that throughout the book, if you're a little lost on like the who's winning or not, she puts the
Mm.
points, the team they're
I was a
associated
big
to,
fan.
like the top five. I was like, she is so good at informing the reader of what's really happening throughout the
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yeah. I was a
It
big
made
fan.
my ADHD so happy.
Same.
Yes.
I use it as a marker where it's like, okay, I'm gonna read up to like here, and Lyra will like get to like the driver stands. I'm like, okay, I can like stop here and continue like on tomorrow. Oh,
Exactly.
big fan, big fan. So now thinking about like the major themes, tropes, we all love a good trope in our romance books. I would definitely say like one of the ones that I was able to like point out right away was best friend's little sister or brother's best friend. It can be like, interchangeable. And one of my favorites, fake dating.
I think the fake dating is such a solid one for me when it comes to like romantic tropes. I don't know
Yes.
why. But we also there were so many tropes. She was hitting them like
So
if they
many.
were a checklist. We also got one little bed. You get one
Yes.
little bed in your hotel room. I thought that was hilarious. And then the dark romance. Like I concluded it was the mafia when he said ruffle feathers. Maybe I was wrong.
I
I
think
concluded.
it's mafia.
Not sure how I feel about the mafia thing. I feel like I now need to reread the book and like think about that because I did not pick that up. I was just like, why does he have an enforcer? But like, I also just I'm like, he's a he's a celeb, so I'm like, I guess it makes sense. I don't
I'm
friggin'
dead.
know.
I'm dead at the enforcer.
It's an enforcer.
Like that's all.
I mean,
like
he was
that was how
enforcing.
Like a little
like I'm
book.
like I envisioned him as like your techie security guy
Yeah.
who was just
So you imagine like a smaller guy?
not necessarily smaller. Like I still pictured big, but like I didn't picture the like mafioso energy at all. But again, I feel like I need to reread this with that thought in mind and just see if I see it differently. I do have to go back to the like one bed trope because I feel like we got it twice because you got it for two different pairs of characters, which I thought was absolutely comedic as hell because you got it for Alex and Luce and you also got it for Matteo and Nicola. We'll talk about Nicola in like a little bit because I have thoughts on her. I adore her. But I loved that like they kind of gave it to us twice. Hi, bestie.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the one bed for Lucia and Matteo, and like I'm excited for the next
It's just
book.
classic.
It is.
You
And
can't.
it's just
You
like
really
Oh.
can't beat it.
I need to know what happened. That's all.
This is what I was gonna say. I want Nicola and Matteo. I want the second story to be them.
Yeah, same.
Because I think
I
Eliana's
really-
already working on the second one. It
Yeah.
should be out next
Mhm.
year, 2026 February, if I'm not wrong. But like she's put like little snippets on Instagram, but I'm not sure if she's mentioned who the main character is.
I'm about to like
I'm
look
really
on her
hoping
Instagram right now.
it is. But I
They
feel
had a
like
thing.
for both of you, the mafia thing really stood out for both of you. Like in our group chat, like
Yeah.
that was a common thing that I feel like both of you kept bringing up, and I was just like sitting here scratching my head, like I don't see it. Like I kind of see
Right.
it, but I also really don't.
Oh shit. My notes. Oh, okay. So it was also at the end, the reason I think it was the mafia was because the ex was like, you sent some guy to beat me up to like get this thing signed.
Hmm.
And in my head, the only
Mhm.
person that's probably beating you up is the mafia or a gang.
I mean, they're kind of the same thing if you think about
They
it.
are. They just label themselves differently.
Mm-hmm.
But that was another thing I thought. And then there were like a few things that every time you brought up Dante, like I think maybe it's because I've read mafia romances.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do like those. And like I've read them and like the verbiage. Ooh,
That was Lexi.
hey Lexi. And then the verbiage from like those books to this books, like when they would do the little scenes with Dante, I was like, oh, it sounds like he's communicating with like his little right hand man or something. But it's so funny because I'm like, this is a Formula One person. Like, why does he have a right hand man in the mafia? But then I was like, you know what? He got money. Maybe he needs someone.
That's
I
true.
feel like that's like the biggest thing that like
Mm-hmm.
at least for you two, I think that's what stood out for you. I think
Yeah.
for me, it was the thing that kind of like confused me because I just like I liked the idea of him as a side character, but then we never really got anything out of him
Yeah.
outside
was-
of the fact
it
that
wasn't
like
fleshed
he
out.
really yeah, like he just like yes, he gives the I've got a guy mafia energy in a way, but I also feel like in some ways we didn't.
He was just like popped in like so
He
randomly.
popped in at times where
He was
I
backup.
felt like he didn't need
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah,
odd.
that's true. I just
It was just funny.
yeah, and like you said, Amy, like I wish we got like more information about this Dante fellow.
Like, why is Alex calling him? Like,
why? Like, what's
just a
the
little
real-
history like snippet would have been fun.
Yeah, like how do they know each other? Like,
Yeah.
why is that? Like his
Mhm.
like I've got a guy back up, whatever. Like, let me beat you up. Like, I don't know. I like it's just to understand like this whole vibe that we're getting from him and just how he comes into play. I think it would
Also,
have been
I
nice.
don't think he told anyone about Dante.
No, he didn't. Or they
So, like,
know.
No,
They
no.
know about him, but he's never
Anna.
told
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
because Anna
Like, they
had,
don't know about him.
Anna like
Except me,
doesn't
Anna.
like him,
Yeah.
Because he's
And
with the
Lucy-
And I wanna-
mafia.
Yeah.
and I want to understand why.
And Lucia knows about him because like she was like anytime like he's brought up like she knows like Alex like means business or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which, does this sound bad of me to say that I'm surprised the one that has a mafia connection is not the Italian?
I mean, hey,
I don't disagree.
You've got an Italian American on the on this. You're not wrong, girl.
Right. Exactly.
I was like, why is the Brit the one with this side character
Contact?
connection?
Like, I
Like-
thought it'd be the brother,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
but
And I would have expected it to be like given like my cousin Vinny energy.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
I don't know. I'm expecting like yeah, like I would have expected it to be Matteo, and I would have expected it to be like it's like some extended family member who like
okay.
they just like occasionally call up.
See, I
when
could
they
have
need
seen that
something.
connection.
Like that would have made sense,
Made
but they don't.
so much.
Yeah, we never got any backstory, and
It was still funny.
yeah, we do. I feel like we keep name dropping so many characters, and I feel like we have to.
Let's talk about
mean,
our favorite
okay.
ones.
Let's talk about
We
characters.
should, like make a make a green screen for people to see just
Just be like
all of these character names,
a
because
flow chart.
I feel like there are quite a few different characters to kind of keep straight. Some are smaller characters than others, of course.
I mean, we might as well just start out with Lucia then. She's the main character. She's the one you see on the cover with her man. And she's the standout girl. Okay, she is in her yes era, which I think is so funny when we get into the story. Like she's starting her yes era. She's a single mom. The baby Gia, but I keep saying
Gianna, yeah.
Yeah.
They use it like interchangeably.
That's what I think it was. But
Yeah.
she's like this adorable little Polly Pocket described toddler that just gets along with everyone, which I think is funny, and I do have opinions on that.
We'll talk about them.
And she works with her parents in the vineyard marketing, which I love as a marketing girly. I'm just like, okay, love when we're mentioned. And she's doing a great job, which I thought was funny because I feel like that's the kind of marketing you would probably have to be like on site for. But I guess her mom or dad just sends her photos. I don't know how that works. But I love that she was really in her yes era thing. Like every time something would come up, like, you want to go to this race? You want to go to this country? And she was like, yes, like,
let's go.
I do. But she ends up doing so many things with her brother and Alex, which we'll talk about them, but I love that the storyline is like a brother that's like really trying to be there for her sister, and he's like, come on, like, you need to get out of this funk that you're in because of the jerk you're with and everything that's happening. And I'm like, that is such a sweet, like, that's like such a sweet family line. Like, I love those stories. I hate when it's like families that don't talk. I'm like, no.
Agree.
Or if it was like a sibling relationship where like he's a crappy brother,
older brother.
Like,
yeah,
just, that's
Yeah.
always not fun to read. Says the girl who's an only child. But like, it sucks to read them because I'm like, no, like that's not. Nobody wants to really read. I mean, some people do want to read that. Some people like that.
I read
kind
to
of
escape. Give me a healthy
backstory.
relationship.
No, same.
Yes, heavy on that. What I really loved was the dynamic that Lucia, however you want to say it, Italians would say it Lucia, technically. I love the relationship and the dynamic that she had with her daughter, because it was just so adorable. They were two peas in a pod. They were very close. She was very focused on making sure that she was giving her daughter a good life. Her daughter was happy. Her daughter was like taken care of, and that like they both still kind of had that she was working to make sure that her entire personality wasn't just being a mom, which is not always an easy thing. I really liked the growth that we saw from Luce during the entire book, because I feel like the person we first met and who she was at the end was just so different, and it was kind of really nice to just go through that with her.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. The growth was really nice to see. The relationship between her and Gia. What I really like with her and Gia is like she really cared about her daughter's privacy, especially when she started like going around with like F1 and like she was getting photographed with like her brother and like Alexander and everything. Like they really made, like she was like, I don't want her photographed, and like then Matteo and Alexander like went ahead and like made sure like NDAs were signed and whatnot, and they had to take certain precautions when she was actually photographed. But that was nice because, like, again, you guys mentioned she wants the best for her and all that stuff. But I love that she just kept doing her own thing, like, aside from being a mother, but like working remotely and balancing that with being a mom, a single mom at that, too, because that's a whole full-time job right there. But also tagging along with the F1 traveling circus, because that can be as hectic as it appears to be with the time changes, the traveling, all that.
I can't imagine doing time changes with a toddler.
Oh, that must be insane.
Absolutely not. Hard pass,
Insane.
please. No thanks.
But we keep mentioning him. We have to talk about Alex. At the beginning, I love that Alex was supposed to be like this retired F-boy, because it kind of gave me like Anthony from Bridgerton vibes, where he's like, I'm above that now. Because he's like trying to get into this world championship again. It did take me a while to connect him to the real driver that he's probably based off of. But once that was kind of thrown in my face, that Amy was like, he has like all these championships, I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Why didn't I connect that? But anyways, so now he's trying to like settle down. He's going through like the end of his party eras, like he's done with that. And his team, which I love because I feel like this does happen in real life, is like looking for him to clean up his image. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't want the party boy anymore. Like you should be more hold yourself at a higher standard. Which for some reason, Q fake relationship with like best friend's little sister is the winner for that. Instead of going on Hinge, I don't know, but I loved how sweet he was with Gia. Like the whole time throughout the storyline, he's very, I don't know if like paternal is the right word.
Like
but,
attentive?
Yeah, like very attentive to Gia. Like the second-hand embarrassment sometimes because he just smoked boyfriend was overridden with how sweet he was to the little girl and like Lucia, because he's very lover boy. He's very lover boy on top of everything, giving her toys. I love that he competes with Matteo on like, I am Gia's favorite driver.
Yeah, that was
like,
cute.
She likes my car.
The gifts and everything they gave Gia throughout the book was cute.
I love that Gia's character was so intertwined into like all of the character storylines. She wasn't just like a daughter that was tagging along, because I feel like that could have easily happened. So I love it. Alex's character is very much like presented as this very sweet, caring person. I'm like, you're such a little honey boo boo.
Yes, literally.
I mean, honestly though, but like, who does not love a reformed fuckboy? Pardon my French, y'all. That is probably the only F-bomb we'll drop tonight, we hope. But I feel like everybody is a sucker for a, like, bad boy to, like, reform, like, not necessarily, like, family man, but just, like, bad boy to, like, committed significant other trope,
Pipeline.
if you will, is something that like everybody loves to read. I don't care who you are. It's always fun. It's always fun to see the bad boy go good for the right person. And the way he was with Gia just like melted my heart into a puddle on the damn floor. He was always giving her his undivided attention. He'd do things that call her my love. Like, I'm sorry, but a guy who is good with kids it's just so cute. It's so nice to see. I feel like he gave like that slightly like overprotective, like hurt them and you die kind of energy, at least towards
Mafia.
Luce and G. Like it was kind of like, you hurt his girls, he's gonna come for your neck kind of energy. I don't know if I'd say full mafia boyfriend, but definitely a little bit of like hurt her and die.
Yeah.
Which we love.
Exactly. Now, for me, the mafia side of Alex just threw me off through like a loop because like it was just so random. Again, like he's British, so it's just like, where is the connection? I'm so sorry. I'm just not gonna get over that. But it did make up with how sweet he was towards Gia. Like again, Amy has said it. Chelsea has said, who doesn't love a man that's great with kids? We all do. Now, for me, he mentions his dad, like how he's dealing with like I think it was like dementia or Alzheimer's, pretty much like just dealing with like his own health issues and everything. And I wish that was a bit more touched on throughout the book, and how his own mental health was affected by not only that, but also like the pressure of like resigning with the team and like having to like win the races and like the championship and everything, because that man was having panic attacks, like real like full-edged. So I think it would have been nice to like get more detail of like what was triggering said panic attacks besides the races, but like also like how like his dad's health was like affecting him and like his psyche and whatnot. So, but I think that just might be like the little like social work in me where it's like, let's dig deeper.
No, I love that. I think that it definitely could have been given a little more, but the book really isn't that big.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I will say that, like, if you're watching, it's not a fat book.
It's like a little over 300, I think, if I remember.
Yes. Wait, no, not even. It hits 270.
Yeah.
275. But I agree. I think, if anything, one of my favorite characters ended up being Matteo. Because that was my party boy, okay? He was a true man of the people. Every time that he's mentioned in the book, I love his personality. It's so fun. It's so light. Like, he's just like, you guys are being annoyed, I could fix this. Or I can annoy you more, in some sections. But I just think he's like a really good protective older brother and uncle, the way he is with Gia as well. I also love how like we've seen in a past book maybe a more dramatic reaction to like a best friend dating a brother's little sister with like the Simone book. And I like how in this one Mateo was like, okay,
Like, whatever.
like you want to date my sister, good luck. She got a baby. Don't mess up. Don't be mean to the baby, you know? And I love how like he wasn't dramatic about it or anything. But like we spoke earlier, I really want to see Mateo now have a love story with Nick. Is it Nicola?
Nicola, yeah. Nicola.
Yeah, because their storyline, like they ended up being very bickering and like funny throughout the storyline. But like I feel like that could be such a good setup for like now a friendship to relationship.
It can be
book.
enemies to lovers.
It could be enemies to
definitely giving
lovers. They were
enemies to lovers.
Yep.
they kind of gave me a little bit of like Barney and Robin vibes. Like,
Yes.
if you've seen How I Met Your
Yes,
Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's just party having life. Like, he's just having fun, but he's also like, you are cute though, so I'm gonna mess with you. And Nicola's just like, you can tell she kind of likes it.
Yeah.
Especially during like the bedroom scene that you
Because
can
she
hear them through
banters
the
back,
walls.
yeah.
So I honestly I think both of them might be my favorite characters. Side characters.
Absolutely. I really loved how close he was with both his sister and his niece. Again, it's kind of the same like guy who's good with kids thing, but like a guy who's got a good relationship with his sister is also just important. The fact that he was so chill about Luce and Alex is I can't decide if it's like iconic behavior or like a little too chill. I would have expected more of a reaction, especially because he's Italian. But I don't know. I do really think that book 2 is going to be Matteo and Nicola. I'm manifesting that, even if I'm friggin' wrong.
I am a Matteo stan through and through. He literally was one of my favorite characters. Literally, like he had me like cracking up whenever like he just appeared in the plot. As for me, like I love that he didn't have a reaction, but I do wish he had a little bit more of a reaction because that is at the end of the day your little sister and that is your best friend, and not only those two, but your niece that you like has you wrapped around like her little finger. But again, that type of reaction he had in the book just makes sense for the type of character that he is. Like he's definitely that character that brings a lot of light to a crappy situation, or you know, sees you down and about and tries to like lift you up type thing. And also, before we continue on, the next book is a Matteo and Nicola book
Hallelujah.
based off the artwork and everything that he's released, because of course it's an F1 driver and
That's
a
perfect.
owner's daughter. So I'm very, very excited for that
I love
one.
this for us.
Yes,
Hallelujah.
I'm so excited.
I kind of felt
I
like she
can't
set
wait.
us up for it too.
Yeah.
It's a good way
But,
to
like,
set it
I
up.
With the
love-
ending.
I love that we're at least correct.
Also,
Imagine
we
if we were
should-
wrong.
Wait, we should also probably mention Nicola is the daughter of a team owner.
Mm-hmm.
Because I loved her, but she's Nicola Moretti. Maybe I'm
Yes.
saying that right. So she has a team owner daughter, and she has a dog named Monty, the precious little dog that Gia
We love
loves.
him.
And I loved Nicola and Anna together because they are both, I would consider, like Lucia's side characters, like her new friends throughout her journey.
Her circle.
And yeah, oh no, I think she calls them her village at some point or something
Yeah.
like that. But it's just Anna ends up being like this number one babysitter, which at first I thought weird. I'm like, you're just giving your baby away to this lady. But then I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know, she's Alex, I think, assistant, if I'm not wrong.
And she's
So-
Mateo's.
Yeah.
She's the like a double assistant for both of them, so I'm sure there's like probably a lot of trust there. And she
Mhm.
is like 10 like toes down loyal to this group. She was constantly there for them for anything they needed. There's even a scene where like I don't want to say what they did, but they don't come back until the next day and Anna's like, "Hey, Gio was perfect. See you
Yeah.
like later." And I thought that was so good because I was like, so many people would have been like, "Hey, you left me hanging for like a whole night and I had to babysit all night." But I don't know. I really love Nicole and Anna as like the supporting characters they were, because Nicole is the same thing. She's very amazing and surprising. Like she's literally the second that they became friends, she was like, "I'm gonna help you," and did all of these things for her. And it's such a short book because like I wanted so much more from everyone. I was like, I want to
Mhm.
see more. I love that the girl needed a friend and like these two characters popped up and they were exactly what she needed. Which
Girls.
obviously
Yeah.
a book, but that's what I wanted.
I feel like so much of the growth that we saw from Luce was thanks to Anna and Nicola. I mean, I loved the fact that like the first time that we meet Nicola is because Gia is drawn to Monty. And then the minute that Nicola puts her phone number in Luce's phone, she saves it as F1 baddie, parentheses, Nicola. And that to me just like immediately sold me on her being my favorite side character. What I also really liked about Anna is the fact that Anna's a mom. So Anna was really good at giving Luce the encouragement that like it's okay, like you're allowed to make a mistake, you don't have to be perfect. No mom is. Like it was just nice for there to be at least one person in the book that wasn't Lucia's own mother to give her like motherly advice or advice on being a
Yeah. Yeah, no, I am a big fan of Anna. That girl just means business. And again, that loyalty with like Gia and Luce was just, it's nice to see. And also Nicola, I love that instant like BFF
Yeah.
thing they had, like between the two of them. And I want to know what she had against the Wags at the beginning, because she mentioned, she was
God,
like, "Oh, you're not
yeah.
like the Wags," and I'm like, why
She's
did
like,
they
"Thank
feel like
God."
they're like villainized a little bit? But like again, like I don't know, maybe because I like look at the Wags in real life, I'm just like they look nice. But again, who knows how they are in real life? But
That's
it's
true.
also how I interpret it. But I did like how both of them were always down for Lucia and Gia, and the fact that Nicola like made that little like back area for the two
Yeah.
of them in case like things got too overwhelming, and like so Gia can like chill and nap and everything. Like a little bit unrealistic, yeah, but it was nice to like read and see it happen. So
No, I agree. I think they definitely throughout the book, like both characters go a little beyond like as friends to be there for all of them, I guess too, because like Matteo and Alex, I would count them too. But there was like I don't even know if I bookmarked it, but there was like a line in the book where Lucia was like, "I'm so happy we met because like it's so hard as an adult to make friends," and I was
yeah,
like, "Preach."
it is.
It is. And I will say, final shout out for the characters. I love her parents. They're so sweet. They're very
So
cutie
so sweet.
patootie throughout the book. I feel like it's supposed to be like a representation of like a good love story that she wants to follow. It was so good. I loved it.
I adored her mother the minute I heard her drop Stronzone and saying the words "I never liked him" in reference to her ex. Like it was just giving peak Italian mama energy, and it brought me so much joy.
Oh, wait, and small shout out to Paul from is it Ballin? Ballin? The name of the team?
I was
I
saying
have no
bait like
clue.
Balin.
Okay. Well, shout out
I'm
to
trying to
him
remember how they
because he
pronounced
saves
it.
the book at the end.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Now I do want to mention our girl Gia. That girl is a spunk of energy, and I love her. She actually reminded me of my about to be 3 years old niece, Michelle. Shout out, Missy. My only thing is she is speaking in full sentences right before
Oh my God, I
3,
noticed that.
which is
Yes. Weird.
it threw me
Not
off.
common.
It threw me off
Yeah.
just because like since I work in like child development and everything, like usually at that age, like they're starting to form sentences and everything, but like she was like it was like a lot of words type sentences, and they were like big words. So I was just like, it threw me off just because it's like Amy said, it's not it can happen. Yes, it's common. It's uncommon, can happen, but for me, I was just like, it just felt a little far fetched for what some of the stuff that she was saying. Like I wish it was a little bit more. I don't want to say baby talk from Gia, but I wish it was more toddler. Like it felt like it was more like elementary school age, like maybe like a kindergartner, first grader type of way of talking. But still love Gia. I love her. She's a little cutie patootie.
Funny that you say that. I remember marking something because I think Gia had spoken like a very articulate line or something, and I was like, is she did it age up or is she still a
you're
toddler?
Like, is she 3 or is she 6?
Yeah.
I thought she was like 5 at one of the sections. I was like, oh, maybe they aged up and like I missed
Realize
like
it, yeah.
time jump. So I agree. There was definitely like the way that she spoke. I was like, oh, it's like this is a child.
A toddler.
Now, y'all know I love to highlight a book. Not my physical books, never my physical books. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I don't have the brain capacity for tabs. I wish I was as cool as Chelsea. But one of the very first things I highlighted when I was reading the ebook is literally the top of chapter 1. And it reads, "The thing about starting over is that it always sounds easier than it feels." And I feel like that's something that anybody can relate to, that kind of feeling and moment. Some people maybe more than others, but I just feel like it was such a universally understood sensation and feeling that I don't know, it really jumped out at me on the page and I loved it.
No, I think she definitely has a few like good one like liners that stuck with me. Cause like another one that I fell in love with was "All right, give me your roses and thorns." Cause she doesn't explain it like the second she says it, but basically it means that like give me the good and bad of your day. And I was like, that is such a sweet little metaphor because I mean honestly I wish like y'all had seen my face. I was like, oh my god, do we like I was like, do we spoil? But there are two big events like back to back, and I'm like, please, like I don't know. I just thought it was a really sweet metaphor, and I like how they like brought it up in the book because I would use that in real life. Like, hey, give me your like thorns and
Absolutely.
roses for the days. I thought it was so sweet.
No, I like that one. I do need to talk about a moment that absolutely melted my heart. And that was G showing off the bracelets that she made for her and Luce, and how like internally excited we saw Alex get because they were pink and blue with his racing number on it. And it was just so heartwarming and made me go, "Aw," because it was just so precious. Like she was so excited to show them off. And he was like, "Oh my God, it's my color, it's my racing colors, it's my number. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." Like it was just so cute that like the
A little
littlest
wholesome
thing made
moment.
him freak out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the GS scenes are very cute.
Another Gia scene that I feel like we have to talk about is the moment in the paddock post race where G ran to Alex because he had a good result, and he gets all protective when the cameras rush them, telling the cameras and the media to back up, back the bloody hell up. She's a child. Like it kind of low key gave me like protective Papa Bear energy for a guy who's not the father. But it was really cute.
I mean, I guess it just goes to show like how much he cared for Gia, even
Mm-hmm.
though he has like no blood relation, and it goes to show that closeness between like him and Matteo, that also in turn connects to Luz and Gia. So it was nice too. Like I was just like, yes, pop off, because these paps can be like overbearing anyways too. So like the heck, or the cameraman too at F1 races. I mean, we saw I mean, I personally was a big fan. The iconic Charles Leclerc water
Yeah.
bottle drinking and everything. But again, I can see how that can be invasive for like drivers, even just for themselves. So imagine like a little 3-year-old seeing all those. Yeah, too much. Now, we've mentioned this hot take numerous times, and we probably will still keep mentioning it numerous times.
I'll try and
It's
stop.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm not, because I'm not gonna live it down. Alex had some sort of mafia connection. Now, was it Italian? Was it British? Was it Russian? Was it, I don't know.
Was it
It
Russian?
just, I don't know. Was it like, it just like Dante being like this whole like secret agent, tough guy that beats up guys and everything.
Yeah,
Just
it
like
was weird.
it just threw me
Agent took me
off.
out.
It just threw me off, okay? I'm not gonna get over that character. I need to know more to get over that character.
Honestly, the most I could find was that it was like an old friend. That was like the most explanation we get on their history. But I don't know. I feel like it was a curveball because like this cover does not give
No,
mafia.
no, it does not.
There's nothing here that's gonna give you the dark romance. Which not that there really is dark romance, but like, you know, the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Um but so that was the only curveball. Maybe that's a hot take though. Maybe Eliana listens to this and she's like that he was not in the mafia.
She's gonna message our page and be like, he's just a friend. It's okay.
He's just a friend who's really buff and can scare
and
people.
very scary.
Like he was not with the mafia.
As I said before, I didn't get that energy at all. I really felt like he was just like someone's security team or like maybe had like military, like special ops background. Like something about him either gave me like security, like military energy. Like I didn't necessarily get mafia. I wouldn't go as far as to say he was like a cop, but like it gave more like security, like intelligence, like something like that. I I don't know, but I do feel like Dante is a character that like kind of you can make so many hot takes about him because you have so little information about him. So you can just like imagine anything, literally.
Mhm. Yeah,
All I'm
that's true.
imagining is the Sopranos scene where the daughter's like, "Are you in the mafia?" That's all I'm
Oh
imagining.
God.
But it was
Now,
definitely a good book.
it definitely was. And even though our hot takes, I think this could be an F1 fan's favorite book. However, I think it'd be more fitting to those that like your contemporary Hallmark type of romance movies slash books. Like it does
Hmm.
have F1 in it, but I found it more on the romance side for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not mad about because it's like a nice like balance because sometimes like
Yeah.
it's that fine line like if you add too much F1 action into it, it takes away from the plot, but I felt like it was just enough where it wasn't like the main focus of the story. It was definitely just that romance and Luce at the end of the day, you know, growing into herself and her yes era.
Yeah, I honestly agree. I think it's definitely like while I was reading it, I appreciated the ties to F1 well enough because I feel like everything's well described, nothing's very dramatized, and like the race scenes to me seemed believable, which I appreciate. I'm not like that would never happen.
Yeah,
Like everything to me made sense. The only thing is like I don't know if you guys have read the Dream Harbor books. It's like
the
the
cinnamon
Not
bun
yet.
store.
yes.
No.
Okay. I feel like it gives me that kind of Hallmark vibe
Mm.
though of
Mm-hmm.
that series, if that makes sense. It's just this is F1 instead of bake shops.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely agree with both of you guys. I feel like it's a really good fluffy read. It is still accurate to F1,
Yeah.
which is really nice, but it's like a nice, easy, low stress romance. I feel like we've said this before that like some of the other books we've read are really good palate cleansers after a lot of like the fantasy, paranormal romance, dark romance that
That
all
we
of us
all
tend to read. I feel like this absolutely falls into the same category of it's a killer palette cleanser. It's a great way to just like have something easy. I feel like this could be a good like plane read or like
Yeah.
vacation.
or even
Like
like
it's
if you're in
not
a slump, like in a reading
yeah.
slump, I think this
Oh
would be a
yeah,
good one to like bring you out of that slump too.
I can see that.
It's not a really long book, so I feel like it
Mm-hmm.
could be just like a good either get you out of your slump, take it on a plane, read it on a vacation where you're just like I have a little bit of downtime and I want to read something. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a really just like easy feel good read, which
And it's easy to
sometimes you
follow
need
too.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
it's easy to follow too. So that's something I also appreciate.
I think it's like also it's one of those books where like you don't have to think very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
there's not like mystery, there's nothing like there's not a lot of dramatic like breakups or anything, which I
Yeah.
appreciate. Like I feel
Oh,
like
thank
there's always
God.
that third dramatic, oh my god, we
That
have to
third
break up,
act.
blah
Yeah.
blah.
Oh my god,
This
I
was a
hate
good
me a
easy
third act
like
breakup.
built up happy read.
Yeah. Happy ending. I love it. Easy.
Yes.
I will say though, if you're an F1 fan and you're reading this, look, I'm gonna be so honest with y'all listening. I did not catch it. I did not catch it. It took me so many days. And then these girls clocked it quick. I truly could
Quick.
not correlate Lewis to the main character. I think it's because while I love Lewis as a driver, I'm not like aware of his mannerisms or like honestly, I didn't even clock the tattoos, which is how Amy pointed out to me. So maybe I'm just not super into Lewis like that way. So like you can get away with him for me. I'm not gonna know. But these girls clocked it.
I honestly cannot even lie to you right now. I clocked it from the cover.
Yep.
I clocked it from the cover, and then the
Again,
back of the
Same.
book was what confirmed it for me. Was like it was kind of like the cover mixed with the back of the book that really just like clocked
It
it for
was
me.
that for me.
The inside front cover, if you have the physical copy of the book, is a black and white artwork of the couple.
Lovely
But
artwork.
on your phone,
I
if
think
you
there's a
get
name
the
here.
ebook, it's a full color version and you see all the details, and I'm just like, this is Lewis. Like, it's at minimum, it is loosely based on Lewis. Only black driver in F1. Check. Tattoos. Well, duh. British,
championships.
again, yes. 5 world titles. Try 7, people. Like, some of the frustrations that Alex even had with his team kind of made me feel like they were Mercedes coded for Lewis's last year. Like, it was all I could kind of see and envision, and it was really hard for me sometimes to get that out of my head. So take that with like a proceed with caution if you're a Lewis Hamilton fan or somebody who, like, if you make the connection, you have a hard time turning it off. I still loved the book, but it was legitimately all I could see.
Yeah. I remember seeing like the book and the character arc on Instagram, like once it was like released, when Elliana like put it on there, and all I saw was Lewis. Literally, all I saw. Am I mad about that? No, because I am a Lewis fan. But it just felt like, to me, it just felt like it was like Lewis. But again, I'm not letting go of this, but with like a mafia-ish, dark-ish, I don't know, some type of vibe that's not like the traditional Lewis that we see on the grid and how he portrays himself in like real life. It to put it like,
say it
in a funny way, it's like Lewis it's like a Lewis variant in the multiverse of F1. If you know, you know. I am a Marvel fan as well too, but Matteo's team also reminded me of Ferrari, and he himself just reminded me of Carlos and Charles combined, like a Charlos.
Ooh,
like that chaotic
see
like,
that.
energy.
I can see.
It's just something of like, it just reminded like that chaosness, like that life of the party, that like funny guy, positive energy type thing. It just gave me, I don't know, it just gave me them combined. Charlos. There you go. It was just them to me, like combined. If they had a child, that's Matteo.
I actually will say that for some reason, like fantasy cast wise, I didn't connect Lewis, but I kept imagining the kid from the Brad Pitt movie.
The F1 movie.
This to me looks a lot more like the
Damson
kid from the Brad
Idris.
Pitt movie. Yes. This looks like him to me more than this looks like Lewis Hamilton. Besides the tattoos, obviously.
I also wouldn't complain if that was the connection I made at first. I did not make that connection.
I didn't complain.
Mel and I love Damson Idris, so like,
big fans.
Neither of us would complain about that, but like, I can so see it. I just didn't make that, like, I wouldn't have envisioned that myself.
Yeah. I would, yeah. Now that you say that, Chelsea, I can see him being Alexander. Like, I wouldn't be upset about it. I would maybe throw in like Michael B. Jordan, but I'm also just a fan of Michael B. Jordan. So I am biased with that. As for Lucia, I don't know. To be honest,
I don't have like a celebrity connection for her.
I am terrible with like actresses' names and actresses.
Which I love.
It is. Yeah,
give me a creative, you know.
But Matteo, this might be a hot take and a long shot, but he gave me Marcelo Hernandez from SNL type of vibe. Girl. He's short, I know. He's a short guy, but like, I love Marcelo Hernandez anyway. So like, again.
But he's a Cubano.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like,
I know.
Okay, I'm like, but no, but
he's
like,
my people. He's not even Italian.
Take Marcelo and make him Italian, but like same vibe.
Exactly.
He would accept it.
It's doable.
Absolutely.
It's doable.
And he could pass.
Exactly. There you go. Now for Gia, since she reminded me of Michelle, you are casted as Gia. That is all. That.
I'm here for
Michelle
it.
Contract.
Michelle. 10 out of 10.
No, I thought that was hilarious. When I saw the Matteo Marcelo thing in the notes, I was like, there's no way.
Listen, I know he's short and like has no built-in F1 driver, but like I would love to see it. I love Marcelo. So.
I think it was good. I don't see Marcelo in F1, but I will say the book highlights F1 really well. It's very well structured for fans. She's consistently updating you on top of like the 5 driving standings. I love the schedule, the glossary. There's like a proper distinction between POVs, like Amy mentioned, which I feel like it's such a hit or miss with authors. Some really focus on that, and some are more like you kind of figure it out as you're reading the point of view. I'm more of someone that prefers the distinction.
Same
But
here.
if you can do the other writing well, then like I'll obviously read it. But I feel like she actually withheld herself on writing racing scenes a little bit. Cause she does do racing scenes, but it's definitely not as I would say fleshed out as maybe like Simone or Madge
Mm-hmm.
Merrill. It's more like the good connections for the storyline to like get plot go like moving, but it's not like the main subject.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I would say.
No.
Like if you're reading this to read F1 races, you're not gonna get that. This
Yeah.
is a
Exactly.
romance based around F1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Like you'll get some race weekend moments, but like the races aren't a big part of the plot.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
just kind of like not filler, but they're there to serve their purpose and not there to cause chaos. And that's okay.
Exactly.
Because even the two races that cause chaos, they're not really re-mentioned. They just cause the
No.
chaos and we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not too much focus.
What I like Chelsea said, and like I feel like we said earlier in the episode, I really liked all the details that she put in. The glossary at the front of the book is fantastic for somebody who's like a newbie. Whether you're new to F1 or you just want to read a cute romance and you know nothing about F1, it's fantastic. I think it's just like a really nice touch. I think more authors should put that in their books, especially if you do want to target non F1 fans and even non racing fans
Mm-hmm.
of any kind of motorsport. Because I feel like even if an IndyCar fan picked up this book, they'd understand the concept
Mhm.
because they understand motorsport. I think the touch of the glossary is great for somebody who has no motorsport interest or knowledge at all. And I have no notes for it.
Yeah, I agree to everything you guys said. The glossary was a great ad. I personally glossed over it literally. But I feel like again, it's an extra touch. It's like a really nice extra touch for those readers that aren't F1 fans, are trying to get into the sport because there's so much to take in about this craziness that is F1. Other than that, I also really liked how she wrote the race weekend parts of the book because, like, as Chelsea mentioned, like, it's a romance book around, like, F1. Like, it's not the main storyline. It's not the main plot of the storyline. It doesn't take away from it. Like, again, you guys have mentioned, something happens, big happens, and it's like, okay, a brief explanation will happen afterwards, and, like, we move on from it. So it's not like too bombarding, which I feel like it can kind of be like intimidating for like non F1 fans. I really liked it. I liked the whole driver standings that she had in the book too, because again, it's nice to see where like Alexander and the rest of the drivers were. And it's just again for our ADHD selves, a little marker of where we can finish reading for the night. But yeah, no, I think it was the way she did it was really nice. The POVs I enjoy because I'm like Chelsea. I love POV like
Distinction.
distinctions and know who am I reading about because sometimes I'm like, who is this? Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
I will say, like for my overall rating of the book, the beginning was like I don't know, like I don't want to say it was slow because if you read the book, you probably won't think it's slow,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't really start like hitting for me like until I don't want to say halfway, maybe like 30% of the book in. And after that, I completely understood like why Melissa loved it because Melissa loved it off the bat out of all three of us. She was
Big
the one in there like, you guys are going to like this. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep giving it a chance. Because there were a few moments from you where I was really like, please, no. Like, please, it was so on the nose. Like, I was a little bit of secondhand embarrassed with it. Because, like, I'm not really like a very fluffy reader. Sometimes I am, but like not really commonly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get secondhand embarrassment. But like the relationship was so much fun to read, and I love that it wasn't like a dramatic build up. Like it truly was like every interaction you could see something growing,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that she was able to do that so well. Like nothing felt dramatic. It leaves you wanting to learn more about them, which is so good because like the side characters, for example, Nicola, and her Matteo, she wrote them in so well to like you get a lot of their background, their information, but you're also like, okay, but like now I need your story, please and thank you. So I know she's working on the book for next year. I can't wait to read it. I definitely feel like she touched on a lot of cliches, but like that's kind of why I read this shit anyways. And I salute her for it because every little cliche she put in, if I was an author, I'd be like, yeah, one bed, one hotel. We're
Let's do
gonna do
it. Let's
this.
see what.
I think at the end I would end up giving it a 4 to 5. Yes, it took me a bit to get into it, but once I did, I finished the book in a day.
We love
So
when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just need to like get through a certain point of the book. I feel like some people DNF books a little too early sometimes. I personally give myself until like the 30% mark at
Mhm.
minimum before I'm like, sure, fine, I will allow myself to DNF it. There is only one other book that I have DNF'd before the 30% mark, and it was an audiobook only, and I just couldn't do it. Maybe if I had the actual, like, if there was an actual physical copy of the book with it, maybe it'd be better, but I just, like, I was not feeling it. But for me, this book kind of took me until the, like, 35 to 40% mark for it to really, like, pull me in. I can't totally tell if I was just like in a little bit of a reading slump when I started the book or what was
mhm.
totally going on. But once I did get into the book and it hit its stride, I was like so sold. They're such a cute couple to read about, and I really did enjoy the book overall. I can't wait for book 2. I feel like I need more of her writing, and I feel like I'm going to like it even more with the next book. I am really, really hoping that book 2 will give us like some glimpses at G, Luce, and Alex as like an actual trio from somebody else's perspective. I'd love somebody else's point of view on them as a couple. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like what you're thinking there actually with the point of view change of them as
Mhm.
a couple, trio, a little family, if you will. Now, for me, as Chelsea mentioned, I was enjoying this book from the start. But again, I am a cheesy Hallmark contemporary romance type of gal. I like those type of things. It did start off a bit slow, but I didn't find that as much as an issue for me. I try not to DNF books. I try to give it a chance. Like Amy said, like I feel a lot of people DNF it too quick, and it's like
Yeah.
some books take some world building, some books take some time. Like especially when it's a first one in a series, like it takes some time to like
I
build
think
up
this
to
is
it and
her
everything.
first book ever.
Yeah.
No,
So it's oh
No?
nope. She writes under a different pen name for some other books.
Oh. Wait, do you know the
you
pen name?
I can find it.
yes,
Okay.
find it. Um but yeah, so like for me, like I if it was still going slow at first like it did, maybe I would have. But again, I try not to. I try to see it through to the end because it's just like I like to give like a fair review and like not DNF. I really have to hate a book to DNF it. Um,
Mhm.
but I do again, I'm just a big fan of the brothers best friend's little sister trope and the fake dating. I'm a big fan of those two. And I will definitely be rereading this in the future. When her second book in the series is going to come out, just so I can get a little refresher on my boy Matteo. Um, and again, it's just I just love the side characters again, especially him, and because he was just like such a fun character to like have included to read, and like he was just like that like comedic relief that we need in some of those serious moments. For me, I would say it's like a solid like 4 out of 5 helmets. For book rating, I enjoyed it. And yeah, solid.
I did realize I did not include my rating. I am
We
like
don't
torn
want
on
it.
like a 3.5 to like a 4. I'd lean more towards 4 than like 3.5 in all reality. But for those who want more from our lovely author Elliana, she also does what she's calling cozy fantasy.
Ooh.
It's called the Enchantment Realm series, and it's under the pen name E.R. Maggetti, Maggetti. And it's just for some tropes because she does list those out for people. If anybody wants to pick this one up, dragons and shifters,
Oh.
found family, soft love, mishaps and magic, and a personal favorite of mine, touch her and die.
You sold me at dragons. That's all. You sold me.
Wait.
The
Oh,
real final
love that.
nail for me was Touch Her and Die, personally. That's like an all-time fave for me. I will never turn it down.
I don't know. I got so many things in here just highlighted because every time something like made me stop, I was like, why is this happening? I think honestly, not one of my favorite quotes, but one of my favorite things about the book that they just kind of throw in was, and I should have connected it to Lewis, was Alex works with the F1 Academy in the book.
Yes. Oh my god.
I love that she included that.
That was one of my favorite moments, mentions in the book. I don't want to say quote. It literally was just like a 2-line thing, but I was like, shout out. Love that.
We loved F1 Academy.
And to close out the episode, we have a moment of the weekend. Call it whatever you want, honestly. I just think this is simply iconic. And that is the fact that, one, I have multiple things, honestly. F1 Academy dropped their own merch line. If you didn't know, now you know. Go check it out. They have some hats, and I think there are some t-shirts. Go support it, please. Thank you. Okay, bye. Also, F1 Academy is collaborating with Hello Kitty for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and I think that is just the most iconic collaboration ever. I could never have dreamed something up like this, and I have no notes. Susie Wolf, keep doing what you're doing, girl, because that is just such a slay for the girls and the gays and the theys and any Hello Kitty fan, because oh my god, what? It's so cute. It's so cute. If you didn't see it on their Instagram, go look. Thank us later.
Literally, I am a big fan. No notes. I told my mom, who's a big Hello Kitty fan, she was like, is it going to be expensive? I was like, I don't care. I'm going to get something for you and something for me because it's Hello Kitty. Why not? And that's a wrap for the thrill of it all. Honestly, we survived the drama, the chaos, and the questionable decisions, and we did it all together. Again, a big thank you to Elliana Rose and her team for the copies and the opportunity to review your story on the PGP podcast. Now, if you've got hot takes, wild theories, or just need to scream about that ending, slide into our DMs or drop a comment. We want to hear it. Make sure you hit follow so you don't miss our next bookish adventure, because if this one kept us on the edge of our seats, literally, who knows what is coming next. Make sure to tune in next time for a recap on the next race in Singapore. What drama could come up next weekend that inspires the next F1 romance book? Who knows? Until then, keep reading, keep ranting, and remember, it's always for the thrill of it all. Bye.
Love that. Bye.